J.C. van Logrenberg was just 13 years old when he plunged to his death after falling from a moving metro rail train just after it passed Leipartsvlei station near Krugersdorp. It is alleged the carriage was overloaded and van Logrenberg was pushed. Now the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa is investigating the matter. NSM reporter Judith Diakanyo filed this report.
This is the photo of J.C. van Logrenberg, who plunged to his death in December after falling out of an open door in a moving train in Leipartsvlei. The 13-year-old was on his way to fetch his school report by using the only mode of transport his mother could afford.
I got on at Leipartsvlei station. And when the friend got to Witpoortjie station, he was asking the people in the train, where's my friend that was with me? So when the friend got off, someone on the train told him he fell. When I got there, he was still breathing, but very hard.
He was just looking forward to see his report, and he was passed. He went to next grade. Yeah, we struggled to get a ticket because there wasn't someone to buy the ticket.
A Metro Rail employee told JC's uncle not to repeat the following: that if they had tickets on them, JC would have received the best medical treatment, which PRASA would carry the cost of. But the only thing they would have found in JC's pocket that morning would be the money to buy the ticket.
We are currently at the scene where J.C. van Logrenberg lost his life. The train had just left Leipartsvlei station, about to enter Witpoortjie station, when J.C. fell out of the moving train.
But JC's best friend says the train was overcrowded and the doors could not close.
And when we got on the train, it was overcrowded. There was lots of people. No, there wasn't seats. It was full.
In a constitutional court ruling involving a man who lost his leg after being thrown out of a train through an open door, PRASA's responsibility to ensure the safety of their passengers was enforced.
Well, firstly, we have to say that PRASA has a duty to keep their passengers safe. That's the first thing. So the first thing one has to look at is to whether they have fulfilled their duty in this instance. If, for argument's sake, the train was leaving the station and the doors were open, then we know the Constitutional Court have said that that's not good enough. The doors must be closed when they leave the station. If it's a question of the person was thrown from the train because of a lack of security, then it is a point that could be taken in court to say, well, listen, if you had security, this could have been prevented. If it's a question of overcrowding, if too many people are placed in a coach, that could also be a question of them not fulfilling their duty.
But PRASA refuses to shoulder the blame and says the broken doors are the result of vandalism.
When we talk about overcrowding, yes, we sometimes see our trains full, especially during peak periods. And in most cases, you would find that people not necessarily stand at the doors on a train because the train is full. There is an element of commuter behavior that we are also dealing with, and that unfortunately also includes how our adult commuters travel on our trains. We have seen recently that there are even adults that stand in between of coaches, and to a point that they cause vandalism of vacuum pipes because they literally stamp on top of the vacuum pipes when the train is in motion, and that affects you know, our rolling stock. But the train doors in particular, no train is manufactured without functional train doors. It's important that I emphasize that point. It is through our commuter behavior that you'll find commuters, mainly adults, young kids as well, that would stand and stop and force open the train doors for reasons not necessarily because of overcrowding, but because it is just a habit of just wanting to stand next to the train door, or even just to block or hang out of a train door.
ANN7 had the opportunity to visit the stations in the West Rand, and it is evident the safety of passengers on overcrowded trains is a cause for concern. Like JC, many scholars have no option but to use a train. With incidents like these, families have no other option but to hope and pray for their safe return.
Oh, go na le bana ba babedi ba pagama terena ba ya sekolong. O iwa no na le 9 years, o iwa na le 7 years. No, nako engwe re na le go tshoga re utlwa gore mang o lemetse go tereneng.
Meanwhile, the Department of Education say they are trying to prioritize areas where no scholar transport is available.
We are obliged by law to provide transport. That's why we have a scholar transport. And we move on a daily basis 100,000 learners, and it's mostly in those areas. But also know that our school building program in the last 20 years has tried to prioritize areas where there were no schools at all. So those are areas like informal settlement or new developments, and those new developments will also have a lot of informal settlement.
Now all the family wants is to educate other families on the perils of using public transport.
How many more JC van Logrenbergs are there going to be, and families left behind devastated? I spoke to a few scholars travelling by train. These words were used: scared, overcrowded, shoved, pushed, robbed. Hold on for your life. The family and public is pleading with PRASA. Please enforce security on the trains and platforms. Create 2 compartments for scholars only.
I'm really hoping that another family doesn't go through what I'm going through. Because it's not nice. It's not like going through losing someone when you think they're going to be safe using the trains, and it's not safe. It's really not safe.
This is the most recent tragedy caused by trains not being maintained properly.
With trains considered to be a cheaper option, most parents allow their children to use this mode of transport. However, lack of security officials, open doors, and overcrowding compromises the safety of students.
Now you can join our special broadcast on train safety in South Africa at 6:30 this evening on ANN7 Prime.